Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us and taking the time to learn a little bit more about the Shred 10. Whether you are joining us live or watching a recording, we are so excited to share more with you. My name is Ann Britt, and I am here representing the Abundance Project, partnered with the Healthy Living Revolution. Now, if you are not familiar with the Healthy Living Revolution, we are on a mission with hundreds of people all over the world, and we have dedicated ourselves to living healthier lives and to helping you to do the same. So you're going to hear from some of those people tonight. Some of the women on this call are some of my best friends, my business partners, experts in their wellness field, and we're all going to share with you why it's so important to detox, eat clean, and cleanse regularly. And sharing our stories of how the Shred 10 program has really helped us. Now, the Shred 10 is a 10-day reset to better health embedded in our 16-week nutritional program designed to help you reach your health goals. And like I said, it is 10 days, but we're not going to make you drink green juice or, lemonade for the next 10 days. The Shred 10 is really designed to nourish your body and set yourself up to receive all of the nutrients that we need moving forward. So I'm going to pass it off to Kristen in a second to share more about the, nerdy science stuff. But before that, I just want to get really real with you all. This may be the beginning of your health journey, or maybe you're someone who health has been a big part of your life for a long time. No matter where you are, we all struggle. Like, I consider myself to be a healthy person, but consistency is really hard. I'll go on these health kicks and I'll be doing really, really well. And then I'll have one slip up, it'll lead to 2 slip ups, lead to 3 slip ups. Before you know it, I'm eating chocolate and pizza for dinner. But that's okay, because I'm human. We're all human. And that's why I love the Shred 10. Because we are all human. We need these regular resets to get us back on track and to really clear out those toxins and set our bodies up to receive the nutrition that we really need, and it's going to benefit us. And that's exactly what this Shred 10 program can do. So I'm just so excited to have you here with us today, and I'm going to pass it over to Kristen to share, like I said, why we really need to detox.
Hey everyone. So really there are 2 startling trends in our world right now. And one of them is that environmental toxins are increasing. So surprise, we all have toxicity inside of us. And it's from the water that we're drinking, the air that we're breathing, deodorants we're putting on, lotions. Like, there is toxic matter all around us. And therefore, unfortunately, it's within inside of us. And the other portion is that food quality is decreasing. Even inside of organic food labels, there's only a percentage of that that's organic, which means there's another percentage, usually it's a 10%, that doesn't have to be organic. So it's herbicides, pesticides, and things like that are causing and wreaking havoc on our bodies. So lots of preservatives and just, all the GMOs and that sort of thing. So I'm going to pull up a slide here really quick to break down what this looks like from having a toxic load inside of our body. So these polka dots represent toxins, like I just had mentioned, and our body's really smart, and it actually engulfs that toxin inside of a fat cell to protect our vital organs. So let's say we want to get ready for the summer. So we start burning fat. We are exercising more. We're cutting calories. For me, I was constantly looking at my, cutting carbs, adding proteins. But if you notice, this person has the same toxic load as the person who has more weight on them. So this is what we call skinny fat. This, a lot of times, actually, people have compromised immune systems. They're having more issues with fatigue and energy levels. And when a stressful situation arises or the holidays come around, it's much more likely that they'll rebound back to where they were, if not increase from where they were. So this was the story of my life for a decade. Then I started using the Shred 10 program. I've actually been doing this for 4.5 years now, and Hannah's going to dive more into the details. But in brief, if we insert this person down low, same person, same amount of toxins, but inside of our program, we're putting 45 plants in our body every single day that act as scrubbing bubbles. So they're literally scrubbing out these toxins from our insides. And once the toxins are removed, it's easier. Those fat cells can then be removed. I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I not hear about this back in health class in high school? It makes so much sense. And so it's eliminated through our urine, through our stools, through sweat, and then we have a much less toxic load inside of us, which makes it a lot easier to maintain. And I joke about this being the 5 polka dot person, because we're always going to have toxins inside of us, but they can decrease. And as I said, this was a big piece of my story. So we are not a weight loss program, but a nice result can be people shedding pounds. And that was mine. I actually am over 30 pounds lighter than where I was when I started. And that happened inside the first year. And I've been able to maintain that with ease by following this program and having my body work with me instead of me feeling like I was having to fight the calories and fight the carbs. My cravings started changing because I was flooding my body with this nutrition. Alongside of bouncing for, like I said, 10 years with weight, it was also mental health. So that really is where my heart sings the most, knowing that I'm not needing pharmaceuticals for anxiety and depression anymore. And then a nice fun fact, I was always an athlete growing up, but I had stopped running and I had stopped rock climbing because I had so much pain inside of my joints from inflammation that was in my body from this toxic load. When I saw the research on reduced inflammation, I thought, what if? And so 8 months after using the program, after I had hung up my running shoes, I picked them back up and I signed up for an ultra marathon, which was something I never thought that I would do. So it has been a game changer for myself and my family. And I'm going to pass it over to Hannah for her to break down the details.
Thank you so much, Kristen. Okay, guys, so I want to start off with a little exercise here. So hold up your fist. This is 1 serving size, and I want you to think about how many servings the size of your fist of fruits and vegetables you had yesterday, or maybe on an average day. The typical answer that we get is anywhere from 1 to 4. So if you're in that range, that's totally normal, but I want you to think about how many you're supposed to get. So you're supposed to get 9 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables the size of your fist literally every single day. And a lot of you might be wondering why that number is so high. And it's because a lot of our produce that we're eating, in the grocery store, those rock hard avocados, those green bananas, that this produce is telling us that it was picked way too early and wasn't able to develop all of its micronutrients. And on top of that, it's been shipped hundreds of miles, and every day it's off the vine, it's losing nutrition. And think about this for a second. Think about an orange 50 years ago. We now have to eat 5 oranges to equal that same amount of vitamin C. And, this really helped me understand that gap that needed to be bridged and what I'd been doing wrong for so many years. It was something I didn't have full control over. And so I want to share my screen here, share this with you guys. This right here is our guidelines. And yeah, when a friend first shared this program with me, I like that it wasn't entirely focused on what I needed to be eliminating, but also focused on what I needed to be adding. So for 10 days, imagine what would happen in your body if you consumed that 9 to 13 servings of raw fruits and vegetables. You drank lots of water. You slept 7 to 8 hours a night. You exercised daily, and you stopped eating after 6 p.m. And then in addition, it is still important to eliminate things in our diet that cause inflammation. As you can see over here, this is what we do during the shred. And so you might be hearing all of this and thinking, yeah, that's all great and fun, but how am I supposed to be eating 9 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every single day? How do I bridge that gap? And I bet you guys didn't expect this, but we have a solution for you. So I'll show you here. It should scroll down, guys. There we go. Okay, so about 25 years ago, this amazing company called Juice Plus figured out how to create concentrated fruits and vegetable powders and put it into a capsule. Now, I feel like the second I say the word capsule, people's brains immediately jump into the supplement and vitamin world. So I'm going to have to reel you back in for a second. And even though it comes in a capsule, it is not a vitamin, it is not a supplement. On the back of these bottles that you see here on the screen are labels that read nutrition facts. if you were to go into a supplement cabinet and get your multivitamin out, it's going to say supplement facts. And that's because a multivitamin is, it's synthetic, isolated, and fragmented versus a nutrition label. This means that it's food. Your body recognizes this as food. The government recognizes this as food. So it's the same as finding a bag of frozen broccoli at the grocery store. So even though this comes in a capsule, it's just fruits and vegetables. Think salad bar in a capsule. And we have fruit, veggie, and berry, as you can see here. And my favorite part to share is how it's made. So Juice Plus works with small to mid-sized farms all over North America. They grow the produce where it grows best. They actually let it vine ripen, which is super important. The fruit and vegetables are then grounded up, which is better than juicing because we use the entire plant, including the peels, the leaves, the seeds, whenever possible, which provides way more nutrition. And the produce is then dried at low temperatures to preserve the live nutrients and enzymes, and then put into a capsule, or there's also a chewable form as well. And it is also scientifically proven to do what we know fruits and vegetables are supposed to do for us. We are the most researched nutritional product in the world, with close to 40 published studies in peer-reviewed medical journals done by some of the most prestigious labs around the globe. Think Harvard, think Cambridge. Pretty legit. And the last piece that was much more transformative than I ever could have imagined in my life are these shakes right behind these capsules. They're vegan, gluten-free. They come in chocolate and vanilla. And yes, they have the protein, the superfoods, and all the things that we really care about. But the biggest component for me and for most people is this prebiotic fiber. And we all know about probiotics, but not everyone understands that those probiotics need to be fed. Prebiotic fiber feeds the good bacteria in your stomach so it can make a home. And all of these things work together synergistically to optimize your gut health. When your gut is happy, the inflammation in the rest of your body can start to decrease. And inflammation is the #1 leading cause of all disease. So consider that about 90% of your serotonin is made in your gut. And so happy gut makes for a happy human. And think about getting all of these plants in your body every single day. It's truly incredible what it does pretty quickly. So the last piece that we want to share with you is the support that we have in this program. So along with these amazing products and the guidelines, you'll also be receiving daily inspiration, an online education portal, tips, tricks, cookbooks, a systems guide, an online wellness community, and then one-on-one support with whoever invited you to this call. So yeah, I hope I blew your mind a little bit today. I'll stop sharing my screen. And I briefly just want to share my story. About a year ago, I had just come back from traveling abroad and picked up a few different parasites and was extremely sick. My gut was in disarray, and this shred has really helped me heal my gut, also really helped me heal my mental health that was also at an all-time low, and has really shown me what it's like to live in optimal health now, which I didn't think would be possible for me. So with that all being said, I'm going to pass it on to Rachel, who's going to share her story.
Awesome. Thanks so much for breaking it all down, Hannah. So I'm a mom to 2 boys, a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. And when we said yes to Juice Plus a couple of years ago, my 4-year-old, who is then almost 2, was only consuming vegetables by eating veggie chips and drinking naked juice. I had completely given up the broccoli battle with him because it always landed on the floor. Here I was, a plant-based mama, and I could not get my little one to eat a vegetable to save my life. It was about 6 months into flooding his body with over 30 vine-ripened fruits and vegetables through these yummy little gummies that I started seeing some really incredible changes. Odie's gut was speaking to his brain. It was working. All of the plants that he'd been digesting through the gummies were actually changing his palate. He wanted to eat fresh raw lettuce. He wanted different colored carrots for breakfast. He was asking for spinach and bell peppers and sugar snap peas and Brussels sprouts at the dinner table. It's incredible. And it is no longer a fight in our house. The vegetables are no longer on the floor, and the naked juices and veggie chips have slowly disappeared from our house. When we discovered Juice Plus, we had just come out of a winter that had Otis in the doctor's office 5 or 6 times with 3 different prescriptions for medication. I was digging into sick days that I didn't have at my new job to be home with him. He was sick all the time. Does that sound familiar to any parents out there? I thought it was normal, right? He was new to daycare and they all go through it. That's what we're told. Well, if you're a mama, I'm telling you, it does not have to be that way. My second boy, Avery, never went through it. He doesn't nurse more than Otis did. He goes to the same daycare. He comes in contact with all the preschool germs that Otis is coming home with. And until a month ago, he didn't even know what a sick visit to the doctor was. And that's because I've been adding 45 different plants to my diet every day since the day he was conceived. And he's been getting that nutrition in utero and his food through my milk, his baby food, and the gummies that he eats today. And as for me, I'm a healthier, stronger, faster, more resilient mom and athlete than I've ever been in my life. My recovery and stamina as a runner seriously amazes me every time I hit the trails. I just feel better and stronger than I ever have. And that's because of what I'm putting in my body every day. I'm a big believer that the proof is in the plants. And while that's been so true for me and my family, what we've been leaving out of our bodies has been just as impactful. So my before and after story involves both of my pregnancies. I was already plant-based going into my first. I ate a fair amount of fruits and veggies, but I also consumed a lot of processed food. So it's no surprise that I had a rough bout of morning sickness and all sorts of food aversions. I quickly became a meat and cheese eater again and spent my entire pregnancy eating whatever crap I felt like so many of us do. Pizza, ice cream, wings, virtually no fresh produce, and to no surprise, I felt like crap my entire pregnancy. I was taking a prenatal vitamin and also had low energy, bad sleep, terrible brain fog. I felt like a slow-moving whale and could not wait for that baby to come out so that I didn't have to be pregnant anymore. I was miserable. And it took me almost a year to get back to my normal diet and a half a year later to get serious about changing the way that my little guy and I were fueling our bodies. So by the time I was pregnant again, I had been consuming Juice Plus for about a year and decided that with this pregnancy, I was going to be really particular about what I was putting into my body. So after only 3 weeks of mild morning sickness and having no serious food aversions, I decided to dive into the Shred 10. I'd never been a shredder before, and I'd been rolling my eyes at this gluten-free thing. Kristen might remember that. But I don't roll my eyes anymore, people. As 1 month turned into 2 and second trimester came around, I watched fat fall off me in places that I didn't need while my baby was growing beautifully. And well into my second trimester, I was fitting back in my pre-pregnancy leggings. I was hiking and happily chasing a toddler around all the way to 41 weeks. And that was the extent of my exercise. I was restricted because of some pelvic floor stuff. So I was just walking and chasing him around. And my energy was great. My mental clarity was at an all-time high. I felt awesome in my pregnant body. I wasn't taking a prenatal vitamin, and I was instead consuming a wide variety of real vine-ripened plant concentrates every day, and my labs were perfect throughout. Iron, B12, folic acid, you name it, I was healthy. And to top it off, in just 3 weeks after my baby was born, I had lost all but a few pounds of my baby weight. More importantly, though, is the impact of what we eat while we are pregnant on our babes. So my firstborn was created on empty calories and not much nutrition, and his immune system shows it. My boys come in contact with the same germs every day, and I watch my older boy get sick while my younger one, who was built on plants, remains unaffected. I know that I can work to reverse this trend, and I'm doing that, but ladies, what we eat while we're creating a human life really matters. FYI, I was not perfectly following the shred for my whole pregnancy. This is what we talk about when we talk about shred lifestyle. I was really living it. So those of you who know me, I'm a coffee fiend, and they know that. So I had a half of a cup or a latte from time to time, and I definitely had my share of cheat days with all the other things. But I always got back on the horse, and this is how I live my life now because it just feels way too good not to. So I had my boys join me in my first real shred, their first real shred about 6 months ago. And I watched even more crap like pretzels disappear from our cupboards without a fight. And I even got my 4-year-old off his daily bagel with processed vegan cheese. And guess what's in his lunchbox instead? Tofu, just cold chopped tofu. And he loves it. They shred with me every month now. And it gets easier and easier because it's becoming more of their lifestyle too. So I love sharing the shred because of how much it has completely overhauled the nutrition in my house, the joy that it's brought to eating healthy food with my family, and the awareness that it's brought to what we're consuming and where it's coming from, and the strength and resilience of our bodies and our minds. So with that, I'm going to, I think, toss it over to AB, right, to close us out.
Yeah, thank you, Rachel. Thank you so much to all of you. Such great info. I really feel like I always learn something listening to you ladies, and just so incredible to hear your stories. I'll go into my story briefly. So about a year ago, I injured both of my knees and basically had to stop doing all of the activities that I loved, skiing, going to yoga, going to the gym. I had a lot of inflammation. I really couldn't walk without being in pain. And at the same time, one of my best friends went through a complete transformation in her health, overcoming an inflammation-based injury as well. And so I watched her go from a really dark place to having her life back, being able to move without being in pain. And I was like, you know, I want that. I don't want my injury to turn into this big long saga. So I was like, you're on the healthy living plan. I want to try it. And it was really incredible. Starting the shred right away, I noticed my inflammation went down. My recovery was a lot faster. So when I did start to do those activities again, I wasn't sore and in pain for multiple days on end afterwards. And, that was incredible. And that was what I was really hoping for. But a couple of other things happened that I wasn't expecting. My brain fog went away. My energy went through the roof. To this day, I don't drink caffeine. I don't need it. My digestion vastly improved. I didn't think it was bad before, but now I'm like, oh man, it is perfect. And I even ended up losing weight. I wasn't really trying to, but as the months went on and I continued to do the shred, just unnecessary layers started shedding away. So that was a really welcome side effect. I really was able to take a closer look at my relationship with consumption. And after, I've been shredding pretty much almost every month for the last 13 months, I have completely stopped drinking caffeine and completely stopped drinking alcohol. And I realized, paying attention to what I'm consuming and adding in 45 different fruits and vegetables every day from a wide variety of plants was the missing link in my health. So it's so amazing to have this program for ourselves, but it's honestly even better to be able to share this with all of you and have the opportunity to lead you through your health journey, because there's so much out there in the media today. We're constantly being bombarded with messages of what we should eat, what we shouldn't eat, what workout programs to do, what we should do. It's like, what do we believe? And what I love about the Shred 10 program is that it's a holistic reset based in whole food nutrition. It's simple, it's doable, and it really makes sense. So like Hannah was sharing, if you can eat 9 to 13 servings of fresh, vine ripened fruits and vegetables of a wide variety every single day, that's amazing. But for most of us, that's just really not possible. And I'll end with this. If you're like me, you hear this information and you're like, hell yes, sign me up. I need this. I know I'm not getting those fruits and vegetables. That's amazing. If that's where you're at, reach out to the person who invited you and we can share more information about how you can get started with the shred. If you are just curious and want to take a deeper dive into how this could really help you and your health goals, again, reach out to the person that invited you. And maybe you're listening and thinking of someone in your life who could really benefit from learning about this program. Send them this recording. We're just so happy to have had the opportunity to share with you. And, we really hope that you listened with open ears and an open heart. Like I said, maybe it resonates with you and you're ready to jump in, or maybe it resonates with someone that you have in your life. So we're just so grateful to have you here. Kristen, Rachel, Hannah, always such a pleasure to share the screen with you. We're so excited for those of you that are ready to start the Shred 10, and we can't wait to help you along in your journey. We'll talk to you soon.